So I finally got the truck going again. Got that guide pin in finally yesterday. And put it in, and it only takes a few minutes. It doesn't take long at all. So, so I went to Dollar General yesterday and I ran into a situation, and I feel like I handled it appropriate. So I thought I would talk to you about it. But first I want to tell you about something that happened a long time ago, probably 20 years ago, thereabouts. So back then I bought one of those basketball net assemblies. Yeah, it's got one of those, it's got the basketball net and the backboard, it's got the pole, and then it's got a base on it that you can fill with water or sand or something. I bought it at Walmart and had it in the basket. So we paid for it, coming out to the truck, and I saw it shift in the cart. So I knew it was going to be more difficult to get out. I mean, it wasn't exactly light, but it wasn't overwhelming either. But I knew it was going to be stuck in that cart. So we got it up to the truck, and I bent down to pick it up, and now my vision is kind of blocked. I mean, I can't really see what's going on. And all of a sudden, I feel it being yanked out of my hands. Well, I didn't know if the load inside the box had shifted or what really happened. So I took it and shoved it into the truck to kind of regain the balance of the box. The dog does not like me talking to the camera. She does not like it. I don't like it. I'm going in. So like I said, I shoved it into the side of the truck just to try to grab it. And all of a sudden, this guy just starts yelling at me, "You effing A-O," you know, the whole works. And he's just screaming at me. And I finally realized what has happened. I guess he has tried to help me grab it out of the cart, and I had no idea he was there. Now his wife is starting to scream at my wife, "You need to divorce that," you know, and just cussing up a storm. I probably said something rude to him at this point. Oh, I'm sure I did. That's just how I behave. I'm not going to sit there and take abuse from people. So my whole thinking was, if you're going to help somebody, you need to at least let them know that you're going to help, because otherwise something could happen that actually happened, which was you get shoved into the truck because I had no idea you were there. And I knew my wife was behind me. I can't remember. Well, I mean, we had our daughter then, so I mean, she was always dealing with the daughter. But but I know she was behind me is my point. So I knew I wasn't, you know, she wasn't up there holding that. It was just, and I was so aggravated that I was the bad guy. I mean, what if the guy was just trying to steal the basketball thing from me? If I had seen him, give some indication. You know, can I help? Sir, wait a minute, sir, put it down. Nope, just grab it and then get mad. So, as you know, I've lost sight in my right eye, which, speaking of which, now that the truck is running, I got to go get my driver's license. I got to get that by October. So, I need to just go. I don't want to go on a Saturday. Oh, that's miserable. But it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm open 6 days a week, so I'm just going to have to shut down and just take calls until we get that done. I hate going to the. So anyway, I'm blind on my right side, and I don't think it's going to hurt my ability to get a driver's license. I hope. So there are times where things surprise me on my right side. I just don't see them. Now the thing is my vision on the peripheral is better than front-on vision. So the cataract, I assume that's what it is right in the center. Now, like, I can see my thumb, I can see it wiggling there. But as soon as I turn my eyes to it, I can't, I can see shading, but I can't see the thumb. So I'm not always surprised, but there are times that I am surprised when something shows up on my right side. It's just interesting how it works, because sometimes I can see a mosquito better on my right side than I can on my left side. You know, we'll get a mosquito in the house, my left arm just ate up, but I got blood spots all over my right arm because I keep slapping them. I don't even understand how sometimes I'm surprised and sometimes I'm not on the right side, but I guess that really doesn't matter to you. But when I am in a store, and, you know, I'm kind of hyper vigilant, I understand that, and I have every right to be. I don't want to be a victim of a crime. And being on YouTube, you got to be careful, because there are people out there who hate me, and you're just not going to get around that. So when I'm in a store, I'll turn my back to the least trafficked area. So like at the Dollar General, there'll be a guy and behind me, so I'll turn my back to the counter so I can see the crowd. And it wasn't that long ago, I had somebody, you know, really nudging up to Carolyn. I told you that story, and it was, I mean, just creepy. I wish I could remember that story better. I almost forgot about it until just now. So yesterday we went to our normal Dollar General store, and you know, we pick up cottage cheese. So what we tried to do is go to Walmart, we pick up cottage cheese, and of course with it being so hot, and we use a cooler for our refrigerator, so we put ice in the freezer, you know, water bottles in the freezer. And then every morning I get up and I change out the water bottles. So that cooler doesn't hold a lot, and it doesn't stay consistently cold. So putting milk products in it can be somewhat dangerous. So we go to Walmart every other week, pick up a couple tubs of cottage cheese, and that lasts us a week. And then we go to Dollar General to pick up some more cottage cheese. Well, they didn't have but one container at Dollar General that we went to. I said, well, you just want to drive to the other one? I mean, it's a little bit of a drive, but it's a nice drive. It's pretty. She said, sure, let's do that. So we went out to the other Dollar General. And it is just way out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it is just, I mean, ours is bad enough. Ours is at 3 miles, I guess, out of town. But that one is just, it's way out there. And they just built it not that long ago, maybe 2 years ago, since we've been here. So we drive all the way out there. And we get out of the truck, and there's an old man with the door open in his car, and he's sitting there, right, and you can tell he's drunk. He's on the phone, and he's slurring his words. But I figured, well, no big deal, I don't care. And then this young kid comes out with his shirt hanging out over, and he's trying to get his shirt off, and he about runs into me. Carolyn's on my right-hand side, and I'm kind of getting squeezed into her. And when he finally gets the shirt off, he stares at me like I've done something wrong. Like, why are you in my space? You could just tell he was aggravated. Well, he gets in that car too. Anyway, we go back into the store, or go into the store, and I don't think another thing about it. She wanted to get some colored pencils. I wanted to get cottage cheese. I think that's all we got. And so we go to the counter. Well, that old man is in the counter. Now, he does what all these people do. It's just absolutely aggravating to me. He walks not around where you're supposed to go to the cash register. He walks straight to the cash register from the door. So he kind of jumps in front of the line, but okay, whatever. And you can tell he's drunk, and he can't operate the pin pad. He's really struggling with that, and he's talking and talking and talking, and he's about ready to finish up. Now, normally, I wait until that person is long ways away, just to make sure it's safe. The one thing I don't want to do is I don't want people to think that I'm looking at their PIN number. So I try to stay back until they're pretty much out of the way, out of line of sight. But I knew this guy wasn't going to go out of sight for very long, because he was going to just continue to yap with the cashier. So I figure I'm not going to wait all day on him. So I walk up to the counter. Well, as I'm walking up to the counter, he says something to me about my basket. You know, I got that hand carry basket. And I don't know what he said. So I just look at him like, okay, whatever, I don't know. So I didn't say anything to him. And I walked up to the counter. Now he's on my right side. I can't see. And within just a fraction of a second, he is all of a sudden right here in front of me, standing in front of the counter again, grabbing my basket. And I jump back. Hey, what are you doing? Get back. Get away from me. Get away from me. I've raised my voice. I'm not screaming, but I'm being authoritative. And I'm trying to make sure that Carolyn doesn't, walk into the situation more than she's already in it. So I'm backed up, and he won't back up. And I figured, me raising my voice one time, like, hey, 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 he would have backed up, and he didn't. He just looked at me and smiled. And so I kept saying, get away, get away, get away. And finally, he backs up. Okay. And he goes out the store. So I get back to the register. She registers me up, and I say, I'm sorry about that, to the cashier. And she's mad. You can tell she is mad at me. I asked AI why she was mad at me, and apparently she was just trying to keep the peace, and I was the one that disturbed the peace. But I'm thinking, now here's the thing. Like I said, he was drunk. But after I got out to the truck, Carolyn said, nah, he was on that Breaking Bad stuff, that TV show, Breaking Bad. I don't want to say the word because I don't know if that'll get restricted. So anyway, he's buying a lighter, so that even reinforced her theory that that's what it was. So we have this guy who is intoxicated on something, misbehaving in the store, kind of. And he's definitely walked into my personal space. Now, I know there are people out in the world that think that your personal space is your problem. If you walk into somebody's personal space, and that they really shouldn't make a big deal about it. But we keep letting society encroach into our space, our private property space, our personal space, our belongings, and we just keep accepting more and more, and we keep backing up and backing up. And that's what the cashier was expecting, was me to just back up, wait until he was done, whatever he wanted to do. If he wanted to take my stuff, just take it. I realized I hadn't paid for it yet, but you get the idea. Here's the thing I keep thinking, is he was going to be a nuisance for as long as he was going to be a nuisance while everybody was patronizing him. But as soon as I raised my voice to him, he hightailed it out of there. Now, I understand the flip side of the coin. He could have gotten aggressive. And that could be. But he could have also gotten aggressive with the pacification. Either way, he is a danger. He is a risk. If that lady would have said something wrong or not flirted with him enough, he could have been aggressive. And technically, you want him to get him out of the store as fast as possible, but the longer you're talking to him, the longer he's going to stay, because now he thinks he has a new friend. So, whether my approach was right or wrong, it had the desired effect, which was get him out of there. Now, if he'd gotten aggressive, he would have gotten aggressive. Of course, I would have sprayed him. And AI loves to tell you, oh, you can't do that in a closed store because you can get sued. No, you can't get sued. If somebody is harming you, physically harming you, you have a right to defend yourself with equal force. They consider pepper spray physical force, not deadly force, physical force. If you make the cashier start crying and coughing because you sprayed it in his eyes and the overspray went into hers, he is responsible for that. He gets charged, not me. I was trying to defuse a violent situation. If I'd have hit him and it would have knocked him into her, he still would have been charged for the assaulting two people, me and her. So it's basically he gets all the charges because he instigated the offense, the assault. I don't know if all states are like that, but Missouri's like that. But I'm not going to, I don't know. To me, I feel like I handled it pretty well. And that you just can't let people walk on you. I mean, we see it all the time. People are victimized all the time because they just think that if they're just nice to the person, they'll leave you alone. But what was he doing grabbing my basket? I had no idea. Was he going to take it? And so when we walked out, that's the thing. We walked outside, he's still in the car, and he's trying to explain to me what he was going to do with the basket. And I still didn't hear him. I couldn't understand what he was saying because he's drunk or intoxicated. And as we got in front of the car, Carolyn said, okay, just to get him to shut up. So as we walk in front of the car, he calls me an a-hole. Of course, I'm the a-hole. I'm the guy that decided to defend myself against a drunk. Well, I'm sure that a lot of trolls are going to say I'm in the wrong here, and that's fine. Because you're going to be the guy who's going to be drunk and be told, you know, hey, 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 get away, get away. And I think that's what it is. I think the trolls are the ones that do these things. And so they're offended that I call it out. So if you'll click this up next box to take the video over to my other channel, and it's a brand new video today. I really appreciate you. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, stand up for yourself. Sing of your dreams. Thanks for watching.